What's up, y'all? It's Jeff, and this time around, we're taking a detour. I feel like we've actually been doing a pretty stellar job balancing action and plot, but now it's time to lean more one way than the other. First, though, the group is having a celebration for the kids' victories, or at least their participation in the Terra course. I feel like these Murdoch samples simply aren't enough. The dude is due for another focus episode. Taking a step back for this lighthearted affair is honestly a pretty nice reprieve from the near non-stop action we've had so far. As for Liko, she's got a whole new energy to her. She's currently smitten with battle, so it seems like this course really stuck with her. Oh, by the way, since Freed neglected to mention it, it looks like the ship is all fixed up. And oh, how I missed Pulte. How's the Fight Club? If it's defunct, the Volt Tacklers are gonna need a new way to make some coins. So Freed, who seemingly met everyone, ends up in a parent-teacher conference. The group starts discussing Terrapagos and Speak the Devil. They pull up a slideshow of the Terra Turtles' various forms and suggest if they want to learn more about them, they should check out the Scarlet Book. I also can't help but wonder what's been blacked out of these scribbles. The kids let them know about their journey to Lakawa, and it's cool to see how this mystery relates to the Gaping Void Area Zero. So, if you're wanting more Scarlet and Violet characters, ones like Carmen might get to make cameos after all. For all we know, Area Zero and Lakawa could end up being the same place. It's also sort of neat how this all starts to come together via collaboration and comparing notes. Eventually, they end up scoping out the library, and what do you know? Ryford makes her debut, and with that, there's now two Terrapa. Guess not. Actually, her partner Pokemon's a Zoroark, a unique one that can even mimic fashion, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and I guess it's really playful. Ryford's on a field mission, and since she wants to pick the Volt Tackler's brains, has them tag along. They get out there and continue to fill the teacher in. Knowing about Lucius and Terrapagos, it felt sort of exclusive, but now everyone's in on it. Guess that's the price for advancing the plot, so now I'm just waiting for the payoff. Suddenly, Zoroark gets alerted to something, so good boy Roy goes to investigate. In the bushes, we come across a Gimmighoul, and if Roy doesn't catch this one, I will cry harder than Liko. Kidding, of course, but please. This clearly seems like a hint. They find out they can track Gimmighoul from the money it leaves behind, so of course, no stone gets left unturned. While going deeper and continuing the search, they come across a Charcadet as well, and this monster is an attention grabber for sure. We just gotta hope Liko feels the same way. I can totally see why people are especially pining for this one too, because it would definitely add to Liko's contrast with the Metheo. Once Roy makes his way back over, we see he's a natural treasure hunter, quite in tune with Gimmighoul, I gotta say. Further into the field, we see they've got a new goalpost, and in the spirit of adventure, have a pretty grand ascent up. This moment had some hype, although I do hope that Keela is used for more than being a rideshare. They make their way up to the top, and once they come across the treasure chest, it really feels like we're in an RPG. Then once Roy gallivants over it and returns the coins, it's a sense of mission accomplished. Ryford has literally taken us on a walk down memory lane, and it feels like we're ever slightly closer to Lucius for it. In fact, looks like this mission to retrace Lucius' footsteps helped draw our heroes a bit closer to him. To me, this whole sequence was the highlight of the episode. It was really sweet thematically how they were able to unite the past and the present like this. Now that we've wrapped this side quest up, it's back to training. We get the announcement that the next section will be more battles against the gym leaders, but this time with a twist. This I'll be looking forward to, since just about everyone's in need of a redemption arc. Definitely curious to see what our protagonist who's caught the battle bug is going to have up her sleeve. So, now that they've gotten assigned their opponents, with that, there's no time to waste. I feel like I gotta accept this episode for what it does, and not what it doesn't do. Zoroark is an example of this. We get introduced to it, but if you take this Dark Fox out of the episode, nothing changes. All this is a character introduction, nothing more, nothing less. The only thing is, I'm not sure you know much about this teacher just from this episode other than, well, she likes to study. Through it, we get to meet some highly sought after Pokemon, but no catches are made. Ideally, this is foreshadowing, or it's gonna feel like crazy bait. Steps are taken towards Lucius, baby steps, but the lore does get expanded. The most interesting piece of this episode is the updated vocals and visuals to Let Me Battle. You know, the best ending since Sun and Moon. The big focal point to highlight is this dance sequence. It's definitely something. It's very attention-grabbing, I'll say that, and I'm not opposed to them keeping this ending fresh. I'm so used to the last singer, though, that this one's gonna have to grow on me. I would call this a perfectly inoffensive episode that I give a C.